My name is Sarah, and I am from Madrid, Spain. I want to share my story about how I went from hating English to speaking it fluently. When I was in school, I hated English. My teacher always compared me to the best students. She would say, "Look at Maria. She is so good at English. Why can't you be like her?" Her words hurt me. I was shy, and I didn't understand anything in my English lessons. The words were hard to pronounce, and the grammar felt impossible. I didn't see the point of learning English. I thought, why should I care? I'm never going to use it. One day, something really embarrassing happened. I wore a t-shirt with the words "Kiss Me" printed on it. I had no idea what it meant, I just thought it looked cool. While walking to the store, a lady stopped me and asked, "Do you know what's written on your shirt?" I froze. My face turned red. I shook my head and said, "No." She smiled and said, "You should look it up." As soon as I got home, I grabbed my phone, used a translator, and saw the meaning. I was so embarrassed. From that day on, I promised myself never to wear anything with English words on it again. By the time I finished school, I had made up my mind, no more English. I was going to become a French teacher instead. I loved Paris and dreamed of living there someday. But life had other plans for me. When I entered university to study French, something unexpected happened. My program wasn't just about French, it included English and German too. I thought I was going to study French, but instead, I ended up in a program for English and German linguistics. Can you imagine? I was shocked, and even angry. At first, I tried to switch classes, but it was impossible. I had no choice but to study English. It felt like a nightmare. The lessons were too hard, the teachers spoke too fast, and I felt completely lost. Some of my classmates spoke English very well, and I felt like the worst student in the class. But I didn't want to stay the worst. Back in school, I had been one of the best students. I wanted to be good again. So, I decided to try. I started studying every day. I didn't enjoy it, but I told myself, I have to do this. I began with simple things, learning the alphabet, practicing basic sentences, and reading words out loud. I listened to English songs and even asked my younger sister for help. She was better at English than me, but I wasn't ashamed to learn from her. One day, our professor gave us a big challenge. We had to memorize a story in English and tell it in front of the whole class. I was terrified. But I practiced every night, reading the story again and again until I could say it perfectly. Day by day, things got better. I started understanding more during lessons, and I wasn't as scared to answer questions anymore. My teachers were very kind and encouraging. Then, something incredible happened. A professor from Germany visited our university to give a lecture to students from all grades. At the end of his talk, he asked some simple questions. To my surprise, I knew the answer. I hesitated for a moment, then raised my hand and answered confidently. The whole room went silent. Even the older students looked surprised. The professor smiled and said, "Excellent." I couldn't believe it. I had impressed a German professor with my English. From that moment, I stopped being afraid. Even when I made mistakes, my teachers encouraged me. They would say, "Great effort, Sarah. Keep going." Their kindness gave me confidence. I realized that mistakes are just a part of learning, and I should never be ashamed of them. Over time, my English improved. I started speaking more, practicing with my classmates, and even watching movies without subtitles. Then, something amazing happened. I was chosen to represent my university at an international conference in Thailand. Out of thousands of students, I was one of the few selected. At the conference, I gave a speech in English about world problems in front of people from all over the world. I couldn't believe it. Me, the girl who once hated English. And yet, there I was, speaking fluently and confidently. After that, my life changed completely. I traveled to countries like Malaysia, the UK, and the USA. I met incredible people, made lifelong friends, and realized just how important English is. Today, I work as an IT professional for a global company. My job requires me to communicate with people from different countries every day. And guess what? I do it all in English. Looking back, I can't believe how far I've come. So if you're struggling with English, let me tell you something. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to make mistakes. But don't give up. If I could learn English, so can you. English is the language of the world. It can open so many doors and give you amazing opportunities. Believe in yourself, keep going, and one day, you'll be so proud of yourself.